This is the Kickin podcast where we talk all things women's rugby league.
And stories to inspire and entertain. Come kick it with us.
Welcome back to another episode of Kickin' It, episode 20.
Yes, we made it to 20. That was our goal.
Yeah,
We got here.
We've got a big dog in the house as well.
Yeah, we do.
He is a former NRL player for the New Zealand Warriors and the Penrith Panthers. He also represented the Cook Islands and New Zealand.
Yeah. He's best known as IICE from YKTR, Isaac John.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. So I appreciate the kind intro.
Well, we're here in your studio hosting you. It feels
Your
a little
studio
bit
now.
weird.
It was so weird.
But yeah, 20 episodes. It's been fun doing this podcast. And I just want to start by saying that we are very appreciative of you giving us, you know, a bit of an upper hand, a studio to work out of. It's been huge for us to, you know, start in a professional manner, as professional as we can be. I feel like we've got all the gear and no idea. It just took us about an hour to set up. But yeah, we're really thankful for
No
you.
worries. What's your favourite part about podcasting?
Not listening to ourselves. That's the first thing that I don't enjoy.
That's the worst part.
Oh,
listening
really?
Back. Yeah. Not good at it. I feel like it's just like same with footy. I don't like watching myself back. I know it's necessary and you improve from it, but don't like the sound of my own voice.
Why do you want to start podcasting?
I think yeah, you go.
No one was really doing it when we put our hands up to start doing it. So we're like, you know what, there's heaps around the boys game. Let's try to give the girls a bit of love, especially with footy and NRLW. So
Yeah,
that was
same.
the main thing. But then obviously Cleary and Millie had jumped on about the same time, which is cool though, because we did a little collab with them, which was good, and we can kind of work together. But I think that was the main reason why we wanted to get started.
Yeah, giving the girls some love. There's
that.
heaps going around for the boys, so we just wanted to get the
Break
girls
it
on the
up.
map a little bit. Yeah.
No, I love that. It's cool.
What's your favourite bit about it?
Definitely that too. I feel like I need to stop saying that. Don't start me. We're lucky enough to already have a business together, coaching, and I just feel like we have had some fun with something a little bit different. Obviously still in the rugby league space, talking about rugby league, but I know it's like a bit of a trend at the moment. We have a couple stories to tell, and I think we have some people that are interested in it. So it's been a fun ride so far.
Love that for you. Love that for you. I think that's why most people get into podcasting, and I always found with podcasting it's been just kind of like a release as well. So just being able to talk open and sometimes vulnerable as well, and I feel like that sort of attracts more people in towards you, where I used to try and be like, this is how you do it and blah blah blah, but I found over time just being myself has been the best part, and makes it easier when you go out, so like people don't get like you're like this on Instagram and you're like this in real life. I think people have seen the full versions of myself, so that's why I enjoy podcasting.
Very true. And one good thing, or my favourite bit, is probably getting the other girls in and getting to find out a bit more about their lives. Exactly as you said. Everyone knows all the girls as like the football players on the field, but it's better finding out what they really like off the field as well.
It's crazy how fast the NRLW has grown, isn't it? When they sort of expanded out to more teams, did you think it was going to go as well as it has?
No, to be honest. I think a lot of people have that opinion that it was really dumb to add 4 more teams in. We thought 2 was even a bit of a push. But now that it's happened, looking back, I think a lot of people have the opinion that it's actually been pretty successful. And I agree. I think there's been some really close matches. Some of the top teams, you know, were losing to some of the bottom teams, and every game has been pretty. We won't mention any teams, but yeah, it's been really good to watch. Like every single match, I've been excited to.
Do you guys get the
watch it.
same support from, not so much for the fans, but as clubs? Like say, like you're at the Roosters, Sharks. Do you get the same facilities all the way through? Is it like the same calls, same gym programs? Do you guys get the
Good
support?
question.
At Sharks, no, not so much.
So you feel like you guys, girls are separate?
Pretty separate,
Okay,
yeah.
that
So
sucks.
not yet, but I know other clubs, like when I was up at Newey last year, it was pretty much everything was about the same. So we got fair use of like the facility, which was unreal because it was a brand new centre of excellence. So that was really nice, and you can feel really valued when everything is the same. But I know for Sharks, it's the first year, so kind of learning steps for them, I guess, with the first year, but I'm sure we'll continue to get better as they go.
Yeah, ours has been pretty separate as well, especially this year with the boys going into the new stadium at Allianz. So they're set up there now. We've got their old like demountables in EQ, Entertainment Quarter.
Oh, cool.
So that's like our hub now, which is really cool. So we've got our own gym there. We've got the cold pools and our own
Recovery
lockers
and stuff.
yeah, stuff like that. So I think they're in the process of doing it up, which is pretty exciting. But at the moment, it's still pretty sick, and it's a good vibe in there. I know the boys actually miss it a lot. They would prefer to be where we are because
really?
it's just a real. It's a bit like the stadium. The facilities in the stadium are amazing, but I think it's just a bit secluded. It's a bit like dark and like you don't feel like you're.
It feels like you're in
around anyone. You're in your own like little cave, whereas it's like there's
Quite
cafes. You can go out and
youth.
have like breakfast and coffee, and there's people about, and it's just got a good vibe to it.
Yeah.
So I think they miss that.
Well, what would you change about the NRLW right now?
Ooh, that's a big question.
It is.
What would I change about it? I don't know. I feel like this season's been really positive. I don't want to change much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think like there's some things that we've spoken about definitely in regards to like competition setup, how it's a little bit messy, and if we clean that up, it will, help us work towards a bit more of a professional space. So definitely cleaning that up is something that I think would help grow the women's game faster.
How would you clean it up?
Just the competition setup. So at the moment, we've been playing multiple comps at the same time and sometimes crossing over, and it's just all over the joint. So we're playing like a lot of weeks of the year in multiple teams, changing into different programs. You've got to go to see different coaches, S&C, like everything. You're going to different locations. So just having obviously NRLW as our main thing as our main competition would be ideal, and then our state competitions dropping down to that sort of feeder comp.
Which is what they're
ideal.
about to do, though.
Yeah.
So for next year, they're going to have our Harvey Norman competition, which is our state competition, run in line with NRLW.
Oh, cool.
But it won't start until June. So we're used to playing at
Pre-season would start like next
month. Yeah, we would usually have
Yeah.
pre-season next month. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not mad about it.
No, but now we won't have any footy until June, or probably the month before if they have some trial games. So it's a long time without footy now for us.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Good thing or bad thing?
Bad.
Yeah.
It's a long time. We like training, but not that much.
Not for next month.
No, they're talking about. There's been some push I've seen about NRL pushing at least the New South Wales comp to do like a shortened version, like a 5-week thing.
Yeah.
Just so the girls have some footy before pre-season, but I don't know where that's at. It's still sort of up in the air.
Because a lot of times they just launch into Origin, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
On the back of nothing. So we'll be going straight to NRLW on the back of nothing.
So it'll be an interesting
8 months
year,
off.
hopefully, to figure out how it could look. And then maybe by 2025, it's a little bit more solid.
Could you make the competition longer? Do you reckon it's...
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if we did like 2 rounds would be similar to what we play with Harvey's and NRLW. So if we played with the same amount of teams, 2 rounds, and then maybe even like an extra finals round, I think that would be perfect. But I don't know if that's going to happen.
That's the biggest thing for these guys, because you guys finished second in the semis, right? But now it's like it's do or die. You lose, you got no advantage from coming first or second. So it's like, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah,
it sucks. It does. Like this year, we got for the first time, there was an advantage of coming top 2 with a home semi.
Yeah.
Which is something, but getting knocked
lose,
out when you've been doing so well and then you're out in round 1 of the finals, it's like heartbreaking. Let's not talk about it.
Don't
We'll
miss
talk
the
about
footy
it
days.
last week.
On that, we'll just quickly go over the grand finals from the weekend.
Yeah.
So the girls one, did you catch any of the girls game?
No, sorry.
No, that's all right. Me neither.
Where are you guys?
I was at Promised Land, so I didn't see any of it.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to get some notifications on my phone to find out what was going on. But
It's going to be a great review.
Really good review. I've got nothing to offer. But Knights got up 24-18. Corbs, you saw what was the go?
It was actually a really good game. Like, not actually, I knew it was going to be a good game. I thought the Titans came out really strong. I think most people were betting on the Knights to win back to back. However, I know there was a lot of people getting behind the Titans because they've been going so well for the back end of the competition. I think it was like 5 in a row, knocked us off 12-0 in the semi-final. So they had a lot of support too, but came out strong. I think they were winning 8-0 to start off the game. It was really even at halftime. Knights scored 3 tries, really quickly in about 10-15 minutes, and they were up 12-8 at halftime. And then I thought that the Newcastle Knights were going to run away with it, but Titans stuck in there, and in the end the score was 24-18. It was pretty much in that second half the Tamika Upton show.
she's a freak.
She's so good, and like it just goes to show that she deserves the Dally M. She deserves back-to-back championships, and like she won the Karen Murphy both years now back-to-back. So she's a gun. She's someone that you definitely want on your team. She just knows how to win games. She scored 2. The last 2 tries. The last one was just a little grubber for herself. Wasn't even the best grubber. It like ricocheted off the defence. But like when you're that good, things just happen for you. It just ended up in her hands over the try line.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you guys catch any highlights or anything at all?
So a few highlights. I saw Jamie Chapman got a double.
She was great.
Triple, actually. She got 3,
triple.
wasn't it? Hat trick. Doing big things, which was really good. I saw they were pretty much off the same play though, so I was like, what's going on?
She's been doing it for, do you know Jamie Chapman?
No.
That's gay. She is, she plays with the Titans. She's awesome. She's literally scored off the same try probably in the last 3 or 4 games.
Like the old
each
corners
week.
play.
It's just,
she plays centre, getting switched
back
up.
under.
Who's the Broncos centre? She's a gun.
Millie?
Yeah.
Millie Funga, real
She's
good.
my favourite to watch.
Yeah, she's so good. Centre of the year.
Yeah. She gets on the darts and that all the time too.
Probably.
Just after training, because I know their assistant coach, and he was saying like she's like great learner. She just wants to get better, but like after training, we'll just pump a dart.
That's the best. That reminds me of like the old Oztag days.
Yeah.
Like just when we just play Oztag and then after just go and...
Reminds me of the Cook Island team last year at World Cup. Girls are doing the same thing.
Oh gosh, we'll get onto that.
Let's
soon.
not talk about that.
But yeah, really good game. A few special mentions. Our girl Nita, we've been backing. We love her. So glad she got herself a premiership ring.
Yep.
She was big. She like had a lot to do with their momentum shift when she came on in the first half before they scored those few tries. Another one, Yasmin Clydesdale. She had a huge game too. Yeah, just like nothing crazy special, but she's just a workhorse.
Yep.
She like just has those tough carries. Like when the middles are tired, she'll put her hand up and they're just consistent, solid, and just does a job for the team.
I've been enjoying watching the Sevens girls come over. Like watching a bit more highlights than anything, but because they're quite big in New Zealand, so I've always sort of watched them do their thing on the Sevens circuit and seen them come over and test themselves. It's been interesting.
Yeah. And there's been a few this year that have come over and are playing in the NRLW. I think there'll be a few more in the next couple of years too.
Absolutely.
And it's cool. There's a few repping. We'll chat about it soon, but a few of them repping in the Pacific Championships coming up in the next couple of weeks. So
Niall's captain too, is he?
Niall is,
massive.
Used to hang around with Niall when we were a little bit younger. So like when we were all coming through 20s at the Warriors, she was the same age as us and title for the boys, and her and her partner Tama. So he's come my house and drink.
How good.
Yeah, so I've known her forever.
Really cool.
Yeah.
She'll be great for Samoa. That's massive.
Yeah.
I thought she might have been in the Kiwis, but that was really cool to see her go to Samoa.
Be the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon, like say for me, for example, like I got to play for the Kiwis, but really enjoyed the times at Cook Islands probably a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more off
Yeah,
the field
why?
too. But
tell us why.
We're going to get to that soon. We want to hear about it. But yeah, go the Knights, 2 in a row.
Yeah, they were very good. They'll be tough to beat if they can keep their squads together again.
I love the optimism too, like burning.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, I want to talk about this because we were listening to one of your podcasts on the way here, and you mentioned like being a player talking about or like doing preview reviews and stuff, and it's obviously awkward. We knew when we were coming in
high risk environment, right?
Yeah.
that it was going to be like very risky. We might step on some toes. I feel like we tried to be as positive as possible,
That's good. I
but
love that.
yeah, like. What are your
Any
thoughts?
advice?
Should we not be doing this?
Should we have asked you before we started?
No,
we
I think
retire?
you can always shine light on it because there's always going to be mainstream media that's going to have their opinion and they can sort of articulate that way. But I think girls need more people on their side, and if you girls can do that, I think it's a better way to do it.
Yeah, appreciate
You
that.
don't be going, fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
we tried to
would
avoid
never.
all of that.
Yes, we're lovers.
So good. What about the men's game? You would have caught that game, hey?
Yeah, I watched it from up in. I was actually in Gold Coast too.
Nice.
But yeah, Brisbane. I really enjoyed the game. I always thought it was going to be a good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nath just doing Nathan things, which is like scary, which is cool to watch. And I was lucky that I got to be coached by Ivan and watch Nathan come through as a kid. Like I didn't even knew he was going to be what he was, but sort of got that emotional attachment to the Clearys because that was good to me. So. Ivan was good to me, gave me my debut, gave me a second chance to come back. to the NRL, and then his wife Beck, who always looked after us, and she'd always like host all the parties and do all that sort of stuff. So whenever we'd finish like prize giving or start of the season, there's always a party at the Clearys.
That's the best.
Ivan said something in one of the interviews about like he would be shit. Oh, he would be shit if his mum, is it Beck? Was it his mum? Was she like athletic? Is that what he was getting at? Like,
I don't know. Maybe temperament. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he was just trying to get a start on trying to say something nice on TV. You know what I mean?
Brownie points.
But very different. Like Beck's like very like outgoing and like fun. Where Ives like what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And he's very well thought out. Like you ask you like a lot of deep questions, and it was hard when you're younger because like I know that a lot of the Polynesian boys used to struggle to speak to him because he like used to ask a question with another question, and like sometimes you always know the answer if you're playing well or not. But like when I was a little bit younger, I used to struggle with that. But I started to appreciate it as I got a little bit older. Like he can just give you the answers, but a lot of the times he'll sort of let you try and figure it out on your own. So he done that with me, and he sort of treated everyone different. So I really enjoyed that about him.
Yeah, awesome.
And you just did a potty with Nathan not long ago. What's he like as a person?
Oh, just basically what you said.
Yeah.
Same as Ivan.
Same.
And like even when you talk to him off air, like a lot of times, like you can talk to someone outside the podcast studio, and when they come in, they can present in a different way.
Yeah.
He's exactly what you get.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to like potentially to go on to go on and be one of the greatest ever, but he's just like down to earth and just wants to get better. And like he was sort of talking about like he's at that sort of tippy top of his game. Was like, where do you get better? And he's like, oh, my ball playing's like not that great. And like I look up to guys like Cody Walker who can pick a pass at will. And he was just like, when you're basically the best player in the game and he's still trying to find those little ways to get better. Even like preparation, like it's been knocking about Quade quite a bit, and he was always just asking like, oh, how does Quade prepare for like a game? So Nath doesn't really have a kicking plan rolling into a week where Quade will be like, Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing this, Wednesday I'm doing this. By the time I get to it's more about the process with his kicking and not so much the result. So they sort of talk like that, and it was just cool to sort of just break that down. But like Quade will go for like ages. Like,
is that a real rugby union thing?
I think so.
Plan.
Yeah, it's just it makes sense though.
Yeah.
Like it's such a big part of the game. So when you can move up in threes through penalties, and a lot of them can slot them from like 50 all the way forward. So I think it's a big part of their game. But I'd never heard someone break it down in that much detail. Besides like Dan Carter when he was talking, when he was saying like, this is what I do. I'm like, oh, that's where you're the best.
Exactly. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because my brother has a union background, and like when I was doing some kicking stuff with him, he would like question me. He's like, oh, so like I think this is when I was playing fullback, in the halves at Cronulla. So I just wanted to get some kicking training in. So I just hit him up and he was like full question me. I'm like, okay, like what's your kicking plan? Like, do the girls ever have a kicking plan? I'm like, nah.
No.
Like we're just trying to get our like bloody normal plays down pat. But I think I feel like in union there's such an emphasis on how much of the kicking game can get you out of trouble or set you up with field position and stuff, which I feel like if we can implement into league, or especially the girls' game a bit more, like that could be huge.
I think Nathan grew up playing soccer.
Did he?
Yeah, so he didn't play league until he was like 13 or 14 or something like that. Because in Auckland, like the boys are the same size.
Yeah.
Like they're like basically grown men. So he sort of learned to sort of kick a ball that way. And I remember when Ivan used to teach us the goal kick, he used to get us practicing on a soccer ball first because you're not kicking off high tees. Like at the time they said he couldn't really control it. But he started playing that and it sort of helped him out a little bit later. Same as Sean Johnson, played a lot of AFL growing up. True. So he can kick a ball pretty sweet. So he played AFL. He's like a pretty gun skateboarder, and he's just one of those like miracle kids.
Does
everything. Does everything.
Yeah, does it, crank everyone in touch at 16,
That's
playing
so
against
good.
men. So
that's the trick. Do every sport you can.
I think so. I think it's really important. Like I think of a guy like Felipe Mateo, and like he was just so good at so many different things, even outside of sports. But like basketball was his big one. And when you watch him play, you think he'd have like big hands, but he doesn't. He just sort of knows how to grip a ball, and you get into certain situations, and I don't know, sort of comes back and helps you. I think gymnastics would be a big one.
Yes.
One of our coaches used to try to get us into rock climbing because he thought it would help the grip with our ball and stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so
some good off-season ideas.
Yeah,
every off-season we're like, what's something different we can do?
What are you up to? We've got heaps of time on our hands.
Yes, so there's some good ideas.
But it always changes. So like I remember when I first started out, we used to wear like gloves and they had half a tennis ball in there. like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So when you catch, you wouldn't catch it on your palm. You'd be catching.
using
fingertips.
Yeah, but it always like changes. Like when we first started, it was like stiff hands, and over time it's like loose. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it just
Yeah.
changes all the time.
Yeah.
Things just get better and better, and people start to evolve. I reckon rugby union is really interesting because they break down their skills at such a micro level. Like you watch the All Blacks train and you watch your league captains run. It's very much like team orientated. Like there, it's like forwards are over there, halfbacks are doing their own thing,
Yeah.
and it's such like just micro skills because they're like we know how to play.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure those little 1% things are right.
Yeah.
And I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is like kind of boring training. Like, I'm waiting for them to run some like edge on edge or shape and see the boys, and they were just doing like one play.
Yeah.
Like it was cool to watch.
Even going down to like the pass, I feel like when we do stuff with even Justin Lang, because he works with a lot of union boys, and when we do some like catch pass, kicking stuff, extras, we do a lot of passing, and just
The
it's very
breakdown.
like the breakdown
Yeah.
of it is very
Specific.
specific
Stuff we'd
and-
never even think of when you pass.
yeah,
it.
and it's,
Like
it's
what?
very union. Like some of the drills, it's like over exaggerating. Obviously, when you get on the field, you're not going to do it so stiffly and be so like point at the target
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
But
Single arm, like front on,
yeah,
side
finish
on,
with your ring finger,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
point
Yeah.
over, like
Then progress to 2 arms, same thing.
yeah.
It's like,
And we'd do the grip drills with like the squeezy things and the wheel that you would pull up with the weight. Like
It makes sense though.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like a lot of the union passes when they catch, like we'll catch and wind and
Yeah.
zing it, like very much like touch, where they'll just go
Off the
there and
hip,
just off
boom.
the
Yeah.
hip. And it is quicker. Like
Yeah.
it does make sense.
efficiency.
And I remember like when I first started, it just started getting to like you catch the way you pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that
Yes.
took me a while to sort of figure out. 'Cause I used
Yeah.
to just catch
Like the
and then-
transition of the pass.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
like flip it around, but then you'd be catching like that, but you're already set up
Yeah.
and you could zing it. But I used to get in trouble because I used to like my lazy hand, I'd flick my thumb when I passed long, and I could zing it long
Yeah.
both ways, but I use my thumb, and they're like, oh no, you don't. Like it's slower. I'm like, oh fuck, it's hitting that guy in the chest. It's all right to me.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
for
That's
sure.
funny.
But I think it's cool. It's just going to get even more detailed and more detailed. And I was listening to the Bulldogs boys talk about like Cam Serraldo's process in defense, and like we used to just be like batsman turn, get to your line. Like the way they get off the line from foot movement, everyone has to be the same now. And
Right.
obviously didn't help him, but
Yeah.
like just that micro
Yeah.
detail which sets up everything else.
Yeah.
Whatever they're doing, they're bloody doing it right out there in Penrith.
Yeah, for sure.
Three, was it 3 in a row or three
Three.
premierships?
Yeah,
3
three
premierships in a row.
Was it 3 in a ship?
Yeah.
Far out.
4 grand finals, 3 premierships. Not
Handy.
bad.
Super impressive.
25.
Far out.
World at your feet.
Yeah.
Literally. Well, that's it for the NRLW and NRL seasons, but there's the Pacific Championships coming up, which we're pretty excited about. A couple more weeks of footy, because I don't know about you, actually, you get it over footy, right? Like you get over it. For me, I'm like, when there's nothing on the weekends to watch, I get a bit like,
Bit
what do I
antsy.
do?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I love having just a game to watch.
Just in the background while you're like having a
Yeah.
cheese platter.
At a drink. Like, what are we watching now?
Wine.
Yeah.
An excuse to do it. No, but couple games coming up next weekend. No, most teams leave this week. Yeah, and they start in a couple of weeks. So the first game of the weekend is going to be Aussie versus Samoa. So the teams have just started coming out as well, which are looking pretty good. But first one, Aussie versus Samoa. They're playing up in Townsville, and the girls' game is going to be Aussie versus New Zealand, which is going to be a good one. Corbs, we've seen some of the teams come through. What are your thoughts?
Girls or boys, where we at?
Let's go girls first, because it's usually us second. So we'll go the girls first.
Yeah, so girls, I feel like there's not much surprise.
No.
It's
Oh, in
what we
Aussie?
expected.
Yeah.
For Aussie, sorry. We'll just talk about the outs from World Cup. Sorry, I need to pull it up. So, no Holly Wheeler, Keely Joseph, Talisha Harden, Talia Fumiano, Shanae Suzolka, or Sam Bremner. She's retired.
Yep.
And the ins debuting for the Jewelleries will be Emma Manselman, Jessica Elliston, and Tamika Upton, which is weird that she's only debuting now.
Seriously.
First time she'll be playing for the Jewelleries, but she made the World Cup team, had to pull out, and then prior to that it was COVID, so that explains why. But I think they're looking good. They'll be really hard to beat. Obviously.
They're just stacked. It's just ridiculous. There's so many girls who could still be in the team that aren't even getting a look in just
Yeah.
because there's that many good players.
Yeah.
Kiwis have named a pretty new look team as well. There's 11 potential debutantes in there. Tyler Nathan Wong, one of the Sevens girls who's in there, which is really exciting. She's had an awesome season down there at the Dragons. Anessa Biddle, who was one of my teammates at the Sharks. Did you see any of her?
Oh, you'd love her.
Yeah.
She'd be your
if you love
favourite.
Mele, I reckon she's your second
Yeah.
I don't know, Miller's up there.
Yeah, she's a beast. See if you can catch some of the game. I reckon you'll be impressed by her. Ash Quinlan, Shael Robbins-Retty, Leanne Tufunga, and Brooke Anderson, all amongst them. They're all girls who had really good seasons throughout the NRLW. So I'm like happy that they picked on some form.
Yeah, for sure.
Big out though was our girl Nita. Got to throw her in there.
I know.
She should have been in there. She had told me a couple of weeks ago that she already knew she wasn't in the team, which is pretty disappointing knowing that she
I feel
still
you know that when it's coming.
Exactly.
Should they, because they picked it a couple of weeks ago, should they wait until closer till the season's done to pick it, do you think?
Yeah,
Like,
I think so.
A few more weeks in it, give them a chance to show.
Even at the men's, like, because they're playing in the biggest finals in the game, so
Yeah.
it's going to be that type of intensity when you get to that level because it's a level up.
Exactly.
So why not? I would.
I think she's got hard done by.
Me too. Put her in.
Anyway.
Late call up.
What
Do
about
the
the
girl-
boys?
Do the girls get paid for that?
Yes. And it's getting better and better and better,
Yes.
like each year.
They're all the same. Is that what they matched
yes.
Aussie's payments?
Sorry, yeah. I think the RLPA have made that this year. So all the international teams will get the same like participation
Men's and women's?
payment.
Or are the men's still?
Ooh, I don't know if it's across the board. But then countries can make top-ups on top of that. So Aussie will still be getting obviously a lot more than, say, Tonga, Samoa. But at least the starting rate is the same, which is good.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a few more girls kind of jump across teams now, which is cool.
Yeah, for money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's
is
the
what
same
it is.
pace.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
If I can, well, it's cool. Like, for example, Tiana
Yeah.
Penatani playing with Tonga, so we'll probably pull it up next. But, like, I love that. I
Yeah.
want to see more of that. I would love to see, like, Samayama do the same.
Because Aussie just too good. So, like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
make
the more
it,
you can
make it
move the girls
interesting.
around. Yeah.
Can anyone catch up over the next couple of years, or
New
Bit
Zealand
wild.
look good.
Yeah.
New Zealand look really good. I reckon I'll give them a good run.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll beat them, though.
Yeah, like you never know. But like when you saw them at the World Cup game, the
Yeah.
pool game, they got very close. Aussie ended up dusting them in the final. But I
Yeah.
think this team's stronger.
Yeah.
The Kiwis team.
It'll be
do
interesting.
you like the
anyway.
standalone games, or do you wish they were combined, or like say
Combined.
Origin?
Combined, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, combined. Personally, I've enjoyed some of the standalone games I've been part of with
Yeah,
Origin, but
yeah.
I think that they should give the pre-men's game a go for sure.
100%.
And depended on like where it's at, because they put a bunch of the standalone games like in massive stadiums where we're getting like
Yeah.
3 people coming, whereas they've had it at say North Sydney that one.
They were the
year for
best. That was my
Origin,
favourite
and it was
one.
So the North Sydney ones were
packed
good?
out.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
sick because it's smaller and it's more realistic for us to be able to pack it out. It just has a
Yeah.
good vibe about it. And our grand final at Dolphins when we had the
Yeah, I remember
standalone
that.
one, like
Yeah.
that was the best because
It was
it was
full
a good
house.
atmosphere. It's not huge bloody a core stadium. We've got 12 people there.
Exactly.
Yes.
But the men's teams have come out as well.
Yeah.
Aussie. Oh, what do we? The only note we wrote on the Aussie team was, do you reckon Teddy should be in there over some of the other inform?
Oh, I don't know. I was sort of talking about it
Fullbacks.
before. Like, there's so many good fullbacks at the moment,
Yeah.
so it's sort of like pick your. But I think loyalty sort of matters. And,
Yeah.
like Teddy doesn't let you down.
Yeah.
Like,
solid.
but like could be coming to his last couple. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
It's up to him and it's up to the Roosters. But obviously you got so many talented fullbacks coming through, and they're all kind of different.
Yeah.
Like recent KP played like very wide and play off wide fours, and Dylan Edwards will just knock out 300 metres and not
Yeah.
let you down. Tedesco and Tommy come through the middle and push up and
Yeah.
support. So they play the game in different ways, but pretty exciting. Like
Yeah.
it is a fullbacks league at the moment, so
Yeah.
different ways to play it. But I don't know. I think he deserves to be there.
Yeah, you're right. Loyalty is a big thing.
Who would you pick?
Oh,
It's so hard.
Yeah, who would you think? I think Edward, just back on the back of winning the grand final, like you said, like his work rate's been unbelievable the whole year. Do you go with the winning fullback of the premiership, or do you go with?
Yeah.
There's so many options, like you said. What
Yeah,
do
and
you
he's got the
reckon?
connection with Nathan, obviously Yowie there at the
Yeah.
same time. But then Munster plays a little bit more off the cuff, where like Penrith are very structured, where
Yeah.
Munster can sort of do that. So I don't know.
They're my 2 picks. Like, obviously, loyalty is a big thing, and like, you know what you're gonna get from Teddy as well. But then, I feel like Edwards has like been so solid for such a long time. Again, been tough with Origin not to be in there. This as well. I like the way he plays. I just think he's just gets it done. Isn't a real big showy fullback. Just very, very solid.
It might end up being like Jake Friend, where like he was such a good hooker for a long time, but Cam Smith was always
Yeah,
in
there's
front
just
of him.
always
Yeah.
someone really great in front. I know.
But like, there's always like head knocks and injuries and all that sort of stuff that can happen
His
in
time could
today's
come.
game. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Is he still young?
He'd be same age as Nath, maybe
Yeah.
26,
Yeah.
27.
So he's still
Still
got
got some
a
time.
few years in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He'll
a
get
bit
his
older.
time for sure.
And then the Kiwis, they've named 7 potential debutants, and there was 11 players unavailable. Have you seen that team? It literally came
Yeah.
out just a couple of hours ago.
I was just interviewing Cheese just then,
Yeah.
and we looked at the team straight after, and even he was like a little bit shocked with some of the picks. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
the pack's still
exactly.
nice.
Yeah.
You still got a good 4-pack, and you got Jerome and Dill there.
Yeah.
There's enough there. It's just like no one can really go down or.
Exactly.
Aussie is the same thing as Aussie's
Yeah,
so
so is the
stacked.
girls.
Too good.
Yeah, but I think the men's game is probably more so about like those Polynesian sides coming through. Like Tonga could be able to play in England, probably can knock them over, to be fair. And then Samoa are in that competition too, so that's good. And obviously Cookies, PNG and Fiji, they could just get some reps up, which really helps. So I think that, like, I look at international football and I compare it to rugby union, where we don't match up in no way, shape or form. It's just our competition just get mixed around, and all the Cookies go play together, all the Samoans go play together. Where you look at the Rugby Union World Cup, it's actually like people from France and the French team in England, and you see people play each other that you're not used to seeing playing. So I think we've got growth in that international game, but it's just going to be hard. Where we're great with club and origin, and the females game's like grown so much, and it's an easier game to pick up than union. There's no like scrimmaging and line outs and all that technical stuff. And you look at AFL, I'm not going to shit on AFL, but the like females game in rugby league has gone from like here to here pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I think all the talented girls from AFL and union are all going to come here because it's an easy game to pick up. And it's an easy game to watch.
It is. Agreed.
Well, that'll be good to see. I know the Cooks, PNG and Fiji teams haven't come out yet, so we don't know what's going on with them.
That's over in PNG, eh?
Yeah. So that first game in PNG, it's PNG versus the Cooks in the men's.
Is Brad playing?
He is. And funny
both are.
story, we've been doing a bit of con,
Yeah.
just a few sessions. I'm fitter than him,
gonna
and
say,
I'm
you
not
beating him.
like...
Oh.
Well,
You're
I'm
fit.
not fit, but like when I see me beating him, I'm like, mate, you should be ashamed. Good luck playing in 2 weeks' time. Bit
Oh my
funny.
god, that's so funny.
But that'll be fun. So it'll be good to see their teams come out in the next surely day or two. They're a bit hopeless with it all. I know they haven't announced our girls team either.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
Just cookies being cookies.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When
Nice and
can we
organised.
expect that?
Well, they told us last
Everything
week.
else? Oh, really?
And now they said Monday or Tuesday. What day is it now? It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Surely today or tomorrow.
Mm.
Anyway, we'll find out. You've played for both. Tell us a bit about your experience, or is there a highlight from your international playing career?
It kind of reminds me, that Kiwi team that got named today was kind of like when we got named. There was like 6 or 7 of us that debuted, and like everyone was just writing us off straight away. But like a lot of us that debuted went on to go like all right, and like I think we were it was an Anzac test, and we were close for like 60, 70 minutes, and like we were playing against like JT, Thurston, like, basically
The go.
the Queensland side, but
Yeah.
we're green and gold. But like I don't really remember the game. Like it was fun and it was cool, and I remember getting like a matchy, and I had a bonus on top. I remember going to Red Room. Like I remember just like
That's your choice.
was a local there. Like I remember that, but the actual game itself, like I can't
Don't
remember a
remember.
single thing about it. It was kind of flowed. Like I played a right. I actually come off the bench on it. But I remember that. Reason I remember it so much is because the next week I snapped my Achilles. So I went from reserve grade to Kiwis back to reserve grade. So I wasn't even playing NRL at the time.
Right.
Reserve grade to Kiwis,
Yeah.
back to reserve grade.
That's
So
massive.
I was playing NRL, and then one of the boys come back. It was either Wall or Sowie, so I got dropped back. But I was playing well. Like I think I scored 2 tries against Para that game. Got dropped back. Played at Sharks, and then I was on the piss with no, I wouldn't have been Brad. Oh, I was with Tunidale. I was with Tunidale, and they're like, "Oh, they reckon you'll get picked." I'm like, "No, I'm not getting picked." So I went on the piss. Me, Dino, we went to the casino, and Tony Ira rang me up the next morning. I was fucking like so hungover. Like, come to Chinatown, you're coming to camp.
That's the best ever.
So like that was fun. But the Cookies was like I grew up in Tukador, which has got a big Cook Island community.
Yep.
My dad's super proud. So always hit like a little bit different. Because in 2013, I was probably going to get named in the World Cup side for Kiwis. David Feely was my assistant at Penrith, and he pulled me to the side, and I was playing really well at the time. And he goes, "Oh, you're going to go they're going to pick you for the Kiwis as like the backup half, like the one that plays against PNG in that random pool game. That would have been me. Yeah, that would have been me. And like that year, that was stacked. They had Sunny. That's when all the Roosters were flying. Yeah. And I was just going to be the backup for Shawnee and Fozzie, and I was like, oh no, I just want to play cookies, because I remember us trying to get into the World Cup and how much it meant to us at the time. And all of us were similar age. Like me and Brad were the same age. Turnedale. I played it with Turnedale when I was like 15, 16 for a cookie side, so we were really close. And I just really wanted to do that. And obviously there was a lot more money from the Kiwis, but just ended up going on the boys trip with the Cook Island boys. So,
How was that?
Cool.
Any stories?
Tell us.
We were just like, I think I was one of the most experienced guys at the time, and I was like 23. And like we just loved getting on the piss and obviously get a few Islanders together and one song, a bit of Roy Martin in the background. The boys just go wild. But like it was fun. I think we had like 5 boys that got arrested. None of it made the papers.
Holy!
It just couldn't control us. Like, yeah.
Far out.
And like I felt sorry for Daisy because he almost left after the first couple of days. But Turnedale was the worst.
Was he?
And Brad was my roommate the whole time.
Oh, poor you.
But it was cool. Like we had good times. Like we played USA. We were like hungover, lost, and it was my only regret. Like in football, losing to USA. I don't know why.
Was it close?
Yeah. I think they completed like 93 or 4%. Like they played we just couldn't we just couldn't win. And then we played Tonga the next week, and it was basically the Tongan side that almost went through in 2017. They had like Tomalolo and Sika. We should have beat them as well, but Jordan Rapana dropped the ball over the line.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
What job?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
no.
I seen the highlights for that game a couple of months ago, and like we were beating him, and then like actually Brad put Geordie over, and he went to go turn the corner, and it just slips out the back.
No.
So
What did Brad play?
He played 5'8" the first game against USA, and then John O'Ford come in, he moved to centre. But like we had a good side.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah.
It's the experience, right? That's what it's
I
about.
think the anthem just hits like a little bit different. You know what I mean? So I don't think there's too many Cook Islands in the world. So if you see one, you sort of gravitate towards them. And I think it's a cool thing about culture. You look at like you go to the Roosters and they've got a certain culture. I think when you go in those island teams, it's already done for you because it's like our nanas are all the same, our dads are all the same. Her dad plays the drums, my dad plays the drums. Yeah. She was in a culture group, I was in a culture group. So, so you just sort of know what it's like, and you can relate to someone straight away. You don't have to build culture because it's already there, which is cool. Yeah.
It's kind of fed into you. I feel like that's where I learned so much more about my Cook Island side, is going into those camps, because I've grown up here, I didn't know too much about it, but when you get there, it's like, okay, you got to learn this dance, you got to learn this haka, you got to learn this song, and we're like, we've got a game to play. Like, what's our game plan?
Don't worry about the game plan. As long as we're in the haka and you know that.
Exactly, we're sweet.
But yeah, no, it was cool. But same thing. I grew up in Tokoroa, and it was like big Cook Island community, so they were everywhere. It's like when you go Parramatta and there's like heaps of like Lebanese people, and Toke, everyone was just Cook Island for some reason. So, and I actually know why, because there's a lot of work back in the day, so they all come over from the islands, and my dad was very much part of that. So I'm the most cliche Toke boy you can meet.
So good.
Yeah.
Hey, when were you last back in the islands?
It was actually like 2011. We were meant to play the Kiwis over there.
Oh, that's right.
And they ended up cancelling for some reason. But that year, all our Warrior sides had made the grand final. Like 20s, I was in the cup side.
And they all lost.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That one?
Yeah, we all lost. So we lost on the Hooter too, which was like last play, and someone put a grubber through and scored, and we got done. No. But the next day we went to Cook Islands, and that was the last time I went. But I actually went to get my visa stamp for Super League, because I was going to Super League after that.
Oh, right.
And because we were you're part of New Zealand, so they use the same currency. But if I got a stamp, I was only classed as 1 point over in the Super League system, because you normally get 10.
Yeah.
So I went over there, and I forgot some of my documents. And went into the place with my dad, and they're like, I got no documents, and his auntie was working behind the counter. No. So I was almost had to fly back home and then come back to the island. She goes, don't worry.
Got you. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Stamp.
Thanks, auntie.
Yeah.
So good.
So, but fresh.
That's been a long time.
Yeah.
We're actually heading there for New Year's.
Were you meant to go start of this year?
We did.
I
did.
You ended up going,
I still went.
I
Corbs was having baby.
Yeah. I was having bubs. So I missed out.
But we're going again.
Yeah.
So maybe you and Tash should book a ticket, come over. It's been a while for you.
Yeah, it has been a while. I've only been to Railway too, so I haven't been like Atsaki and
No. What island are you from actually?
Moai and Achu.
Right.
Yeah.
Achu, is that where you're famous from?
My dad's
I think we are cousins.
I
my
think it's
dad's-
like distant though. And like Don
Yeah.
Peru too. He was like found out he's my cousin in camp. Just,
Of
they
course.
just meet each other. Like,
Yeah. It's your
Speak
cousin. Yeah,
speak quick as and the odd English word in there. Like, oh, that's your cousin.
exactly. Literally.
Right, yeah. So that's
That's
how it
so
works.
funny.
I think.
That's so good.
How good.
Mm.
We have to get over again.
Yeah, be good.
He's going for New Year's.
Yes.
Yeah,
That'd
we're
be-
leaving on New Year's Eve.
Oh, perfect.
And then we'd run a clinic over there.
Yeah.
And then we'll do an Aitutaki trip
Yep.
again.
It's a beautiful island, isn't it?
So
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
the best.
Like you see that. No, I don't want to say it.
What? Say it.
No, like when the Samoan and Tongan boys go back and like, oh, it's so beautiful. I'm like looking at them going,
You don't know, beautiful.
Yeah.
what do they look like? It's got chlorine in it.
Have you been to our islands? Nah, I feel ya.
It's actually the
Yeah.
best.
But
I
then,
got engaged over there, so I'm like very excited to go back.
hey,
So-
question: why isn't? Do you reckon touch could ever go like professional, or is it just there's no money in it? Eh?
Touch footy?
Yeah.
Nah.
Did you come from touch? Did you guys
We
come
played
from
touch, yeah.
Not so much me. You played a bit
You
more than I
played big
did.
touch.
But not like reps and stuff. It was just the old park one.
Yeah, yeah. It's great sport. I don't know. I don't think it would go professional. I don't know. Would people pay to go and watch that?
I just. It just gets exciting when it's on the 5A. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
you don't want to.
I don't love watching it, to be honest.
Oh, don't you?
No.
Like, touch highlights are like my favourite to watch.
Like when there's like the exciting parts. I don't know. Maybe it's just I haven't been around that environment for a long time, but I just remember it being like just drive it up the middle and then
Long
have
ball
long
to the
ball
winger.
or like have a crack at the end. I love playing it. Like I think it's a really great game to play. But yeah, never loved watching it. I don't know.
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that middle part of the game, like
Yeah.
say in league,
I think
you
people
can-
should play it if they
Oh,
want to
agree.
play rugby league or
Yes.
any other code like that. But yeah, I think it's an awesome game for just general footy skills.
I read this
fitness.
book about this in Brazil. Like a lot of the kids that grow up playing, they play. It's called like football, like FUTBOL, and they play in like really small, like concrete sort of places.
Yeah.
And like they play that till about 15, 16, and then by the time they get to like a big field, it feels like
Big.
all the spaces are so much bigger,
Yeah.
and they can dominate it
Smart.
because a lot of them haven't played on a proper field before.
Yep.
And it's kind of the same theory within touch,
Touch,
like because it's
yeah.
so short, sharp, and fast, and you need to strip people with numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they get onto the league field, it moves like a little bit slower, and then next
Yeah.
minute KP rocks up and just
Exactly.
just sees it before everyone
Yeah,
else.
we can
So-
see all the best rugby league players have that touch.
Touch
Like
factor.
literally everyone we've spoken about today: Tamika Upton, Sean Johnson,
Taran
Dylan Ponga,
Aiken.
Taran Aiken.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all
Touchies.
gun touchies. So yeah,
Tell you
100%.
where
Great spot.
we went wrong. We didn't play enough of it.
Should have played more touch footy.
Trying to
I'll
run
be
over
like
people.
one attacking set, one D set sub.
Yeah.
Mum's
And
like,
it's-
you're not out there for very long. I'm like, I'm tired.
And we played heaps of touch growing up too in our hometown because it was
Yeah.
like Thursday, everyone plays touch. And
Yes.
I don't know, you're always playing on the courts. But the game's changed so much
Yeah.
since I played. Like even when I played, like everything was based around the mids. So you just do quickies around the middle and
Yeah.
like just try and do your best step.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just moved so much quicker now for all the back doors and long balls and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was just kind of like a one-on-one game back in the day.
Yeah,
It
we
was
do
cool.
an annual Boxing Day touch with all the fam.
Oh, sick.
So you'll have to come.
How does Tackers
Run
go?
him
Right?
up.
He's still silky, yeah.
Oh, he thinks he is. Nah, he goes all right.
He goes good.
He's
He
getting
goes good.
slower and slower each year. It's
But
like
louder
He still
and
tries to
louder.
step, eh?
exactly.
Well, me and our crew are saying, it's like, give that step away, man.
Oh,
it's not
it's
Oh my
working.
gosh, your guys' video on him was so funny.
That
Your
was the
post on
Oh,
him.
he sent that to me. He goes, post this. Like,
That surprised me. Well, actually,
you
played
know, he
this
does that
morning.
wink. Is like,
Yeah,
no
disgusting.
tackles.
We played this morning, so we did our running session this morning, and then we played 2-on-2. So with his littlest Hayes, so he's
Yeah.
5, and then me and his biggest Clear, who's 11. So it was Brad
She's
Hayes
going
versus
good,
me
eh?
and Clear. Yeah, she's going good. Just
Yeah.
played her first year of footy, and she carved up. She did so well.
good.
Got the
Um,
clutch too in the GF.
She did good, yeah.
Yeah.
Winning try. So she's going good. We had a little game this morning, and Brad tried to do his big, disgusting step on me, and he just went nowhere. And I was like, you wish. Like, you got him so easy. He was
Too
like,
slow,
yeah,
isn't it?
too slow. But anyway,
Don't still got it. He's retired now.
he's
Bradley,
he's
got his
coming out of
big
retirement
retirement.
for the game, for the Cook Islands
Is he going to
game.
coach? He said he
Oh,
might
yeah.
coach after.
I think he could. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him too much. He's been doing some coaching with us, just with the kids and stuff, and he's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
He's good with the kids and
He's smart. He's a smart footballer.
Yeah.
He's not dumb.
Yeah.
Be
Questionable.
cool. I
No,
could see
but
Bradley coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
How do you think the girls should market the game better if you're asking from an individual standpoint? Like, don't take away NRL, blah, blah, blah. What do you reckon the girls should be doing?
Like the girls
Yeah,
individually,
like-
or like what NRL should be doing for the girls?
NRL.
No, other way around. What do you reckon? Do you reckon individually girls could be doing a bit more? Or?
Yeah, for sure. Well, like this sort of touches on some stuff I wanted to ask you about, like I feel like we could definitely be better with marketing ourselves.
Yeah.
I feel like people fall in love with players before they sort of follow a team. A lot of our fans are like big fans of like Kennedy Charrington and like she's a perfect example. She's really good at marketing herself and putting herself out there, and that's definitely something that I feel we aren't good at, and a lot of the girls aren't comfortable with. So I think that's definitely something. Like,
what's stopping them from doing it? Just judgment, or
I think so. Yeah. Like I know for myself, and I know she's the same. It's like we just feel a bit like icky. Like people are gonna be like, oh, they think they're mad. Like
literally.
Like that was us.
Yeah.
Because we started vlogging basically before anyone in podcasting, and like, you know what footy environments are like. Everyone's just bagging us.
Yeah.
No one's going to buy you shit clothes. And like, but we just kept going. It's
just like you're having a dig at life, and it's like, it's like props to you for going for it. And that's what we're trying to do with a few things that we're doing. But it is always at the back of our mind, like, are people judging us?
Yeah.
And it's just, I know you got to get out of your head and just go for it. But
we've had that told to us a lot of times.
Yeah. Like just
Stop
backing
worrying
ourselves.
about what other people think. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. What's your take on it? How should we be thinking?
Yeah.
I think you two are going along the right way. You know what I mean? You just got to create your own content, and because it's like you don't really have the best content is being able to play good football in the highest arenas. So you look at the guys who play in Origin and Grand Finals, and they're the hot ticket right now. And Cheese was sitting here before 2020 when he was playing for Melbourne, and everything was about hectic Cheese. Like he sort of capitalised on that time. But if you don't have that, the next part is just to generate all your own content.
Yeah.
And it's either through vlogging or podcasting or anything. And I think you guys are doing it the right way. And you look at me, or you look at someone like Denon, we weren't the best players, but we because we were sort of mid-tier within the NRL system, that when we transferred out, like we didn't have that, like we weren't a superstar. So us moving into normal life was just sweet. And if you look at a lot of the biggest content creators in the world right now, they're just like YouTube people. You look at Mr. Beast, you look at Logan Paul, look at all the TikTok people, all they've done is just generate their own content. And like League might be your lily pad for you to get to that next point, but I don't think it should define all your content. If a lot of people follow me because I was just honest and open and just documented it, so more people will resonate with that than sort of like the superstar. So
for sure.
my opinion.
I feel like my my thoughts are like, I want to play really good footy first, and then this to be like, I don't want it to take away from my footy, which it has, like it doesn't, and it hasn't. But I feel like that's my mindset. When you started YKTR, you were still playing?
Yeah.
How did you sort of balance that? And like, did you know you were like close to?
I was checked out.
Yeah.
My social life sort of probably let me know I was checked out more so than what I thought. But I actually got injured, snapped my pec in the Reggie's game. I just tore my hammy, come back and snapped my pec my first game back. And I was just like, I said I was done. And then when I said I was done, it felt like so light because I'd been thinking about it for like a year and a half. So what was the original question?
Like when you were sort of transitioning, how did...
No, I was checked out.
The fact that you knew it in your head, that would have made it easier.
I was going to training just to get a paycheck, and I had to play Reggie's the next year just to get more money into the system because I was almost broke. Had bought a house at the time, and all my money was going to mortgage. So I played for Mounties, which was like really fun, and like Tuesday, Thursday, and I was just doing my business underneath that. So, but we were lucky; we grew pretty quickly. Not lucky, like we worked hard for it, but I never felt like I was just a football player. Like even when I used to go out and like talk to girls, I'd be like, nah, like I do other things. I was hanging out with Corey, who's the most cliche footballer in the world. But I just never wanted my identity to be attached just to football, because I felt like I had more to offer in terms of like I was into reading books at the time. I was into photography, and I was trying to learn how to edit at the time, which is weird in the footy circle around then, but it's very common.
So it's cool now.
Yeah, Kaylin
you made it cool.
Kaylin does it, and like, oh, fuck, that's so
cool.
I was walking out for camera and go, what the fuck are you doing?
Nerd.
Yeah, it was literally like that.
So stupid,
I know.
But I found myself getting like bored with like football conversations, because we're talking about the same shit, like girls gambling, when we're going to go out, and I just felt that getting boring to me. So I'm going to hang around with older people or people outside rugby league, and just found myself getting interested in like business and stuff. So I just kind of went, phew. See you later.
And you started it with Corey and Chico.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, how was the dynamics? Because obviously
We're friends in business.
best friends in
Yeah.
business.
It's highly, people say don't do it. What are your thoughts on it though?
I've enjoyed it, but like a lot of like I've done everything, and I've like the way I grew up, like we share. You know what I mean? Like if I've got a pie, you've got a pie, or like that's just how I've grown up, and I can see why it doesn't work. And like I'll give you an example of the YKTR Sports when Scope and Mace left. Like I'd known Scope for like 16, 17 years, and like he just kind of took off when like which he should have. He should have looked after his family, but sort of how he exited like made that sort of hurt for me like a lot.
Yeah.
And all I wanted was just like a bit of respect, so I can see why people wouldn't say that. But like my experience of Chico and Corey has been great. But in saying that, like if you look at YKTR now, when people go like, what has ICE done for YKTR? Basically done everything.
Yeah.
But those boys still own like a majority share on it. And like for me, like I said, growing up in team sports, I've never been a superstar, so it hasn't always been about me. I'd rather win with people around me. Like if I went solo, I could have been a lot more successful financially, but like,
It's not as fun.
Yeah.
just like you're on your own.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah.
And like we've had great success, and individually I've had great success too. But I found like the more money I had, like it changed me like a little bit too, because I was like, I wouldn't say I was a gronk, but like I just thought like, oh, it's because of me.
Yeah.
So you start to go out, and I was like buying like I was spending like thousands of dollars on a night out.
Yeah.
And just something like I always say, like if you're a piece of shit, flies start to come.
Yeah.
And I was just sort of looking around the table. I was like, I didn't know who any of these people were.
Yeah.
It was like I was acting like a piece of shit, so you're just gonna get flies hanging around you. So, but it was cool. Like it was good to go through that experience and go through heaps of failures, because it sort of just keeps shaping you. And then like things might go great again, or just fall back down. Like I don't know. But I've learned those lessons, which has been cool.
You've been through heaps and like had lots of people that you've brought along the way. You're very generous and obviously very like got a open heart to want to bring people along with you. Do you think how it is now, like, can you see much changing? Are you happy with how it is now?
Oh, happy with how it is now, because
Yeah.
we were just in so much drama all the time. So like you say YK to one person, it means something, but like in the media, like when we started, Corey was in like sex tape scandals. Both the boys got done for drugs. Chico got stood down for 4 years. They both went into losing seasons.
Yep.
Like everything's always sort of just gone bad around us. They got into a fight after someone called Chico like the N-word, and then like Normie got fired, and then I brought Scope in, and he got done for like cocaine in the toilet. It's
All right.
like never me.
all bad.
Yeah, like it's always been bad. And then Simeon almost got cancelled for those trans comments that he made last year. And then we had like Caleb come in, and like he almost committed suicide twice when we were in the office. Like it just felt like we're on defense like the whole time.
Yeah.
Like a 40 analogy is like I feel like just someone kept rolling it in, he just rocking up and
Yeah.
defending all the time. And
Yeah.
I think the best way in football and even in life is just to be on attack all the time. And it just felt like we were on our heels for so it's been nice just to be peaceful, like just come through and like no drama, like, and we used to get like a lot of hate through inboxes, and I used to get like a whole lot of hate too, because we document everything,
Yeah.
like good, bad, ugly. If we fucked up, we'd be on cameras, because we just sort of saw ourselves as kind of like entertainment show.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was fake if we only showed like the good things. So I wanted to show the bad things, and I'll do podcasts talking about like I fired Simi, so this is the reason why I fired him. Probably shouldn't do that, like you know what I mean. But I just thought, I just felt lighter.
You're
after
sharing everything.
Yeah.
And I thought people that were trying to start businesses could look at me and go, "Oh, that's where they fucked up. Don't do that."
Yeah.
But you just gotta let people in on their own too.
That's it.
What is the best thing about owning your own business, do you think?
I think the best thing about owning a business is that you can have an idea that didn't exist before and bring it into the world, and people support it, and people spend like their money to like a lot of people don't have much money, and they use their disposable income to support something. I think YKTR is something that can influence people in many different ways. Like we've done it all the way through like clothing, the way sort of players act right now. Podcasting is like being a big one, vlogging. Like a lot of people look at us probably early on and say like, maybe if like I always say this, like I just never had someone I could look at when I was coming out through business. So like, oh, he's an Islander, or like he's a Māori dude or he's from my hometown. I think that's the cool part, that you can inspire someone just by being yourself. And that's what I'm learning. And there's times I haven't been myself, and you sort of feel your business go down in those times, but it's just sort of a reflection of that. So that's what I'm learning now.
Cool. Well, you've inspired us.
Thank you.
For sure.
We've always loved like watching all your content. Obviously your podcast like was a big part of, you know, like getting us into it as well. And yeah, you've just always had really, I love what like keeping up with all of your personal ones, the YKTR, the YKTR sports. I feel like you've just got like so many different streams and it's cool to keep up with all of them.
There's a lot going on now.
Is it hard? Let me
Like,
ask you
you
this,
must be
because
so
we
busy.
struggle with just doing this and then playing footy and then working as well. But is it hard, like doing
Oh.
everything?
Nah, to me, it's all fun. Like, it's
Yeah.
all stuff that I love to do. So I sort of measure, this is how I measure my life. Like, the first 5 seconds in the day, if I wake up excited, that lets me know I'm on the right track. And then sort of when I go to sleep at night, like if I can go to sleep with a clear conscience. So everything I do in life is sort of geared towards that. And I get excited to come to work every single day. Like, I've been waking up at 3 at the moment because I've just got heaps of ideas in my head.
Wow.
And I'll be in work by 5 or 6 at the moment because I just enjoy it. It's just
Yeah.
fun.
It's natural to you.
Yeah.
You're a real creative. I think that's our problem. We're not creative.
Well, what's stopping you from being creative, or how do you define creativity?
I don't even know. I feel like we need to give ourselves some time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't come natural yet.
Yeah.
Not to me, at least.
I come up with some weird ideas. I don't know where they come from, but I think we're probably not very good at following through with all the ideas. I think we
Yeah.
have heaps of ideas, but we don't actually
The
action
realist,
them.
yeah.
What's
So
been
that's probably the
worst
hardest
one?
bit. The worst one?
Our worst
We've had
idea.
a few, yeah.
I don't even know.
I can't think.
We haven't had bad ideas, have we?
I don't
They've all been
know.
good.
And I think content's always subjective. Like, people listen to me like, fucking shut the fuck up, or some people would love me. So it's
Yeah.
just kind
Yeah.
of like, just put it out there, and you're always
Don't-
going to get both. It's
Yeah,
just the way it
100%.
works.
Don't care about what people think.
Yeah. Is that the best advice you give? So for anyone out there who's wanting to start their own business or has an idea that they want to bring to life?
Yeah.
I don't think people talk about like the downsides of business too. Like, it's like pretty lonely. Like, there's
Yeah.
times you feel like I could be surrounded by great people, but you still got to solve those problems on your own. And if you're at the top of the tree and you can't really look up and ask anyone else for help, like that, gets like that. But yeah, I think big one is that you just want to live a life regretful. Like, you hang around someone old and you can see like they're better in life, and this is kind of like our only shot we got. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We don't really get another shot.
Yeah.
So I'd just rather be doing shit I love to do. And
Yeah.
I probably always struggled with like people telling me what to do. Like, I wasn't like a bad student or anything like that, but like I've always just wanted to do things my way, and it's got me in trouble sometimes, but it's probably set me up for better things, I reckon.
Love that.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Should we finish off with these quick questions?
Yes. So we always finish off with some quickfire questions. You ready for them?
Ready?
All right.
They're not really quick fire as well, as we've learned over the
Yeah.
past 20 episodes. When we ask people the questions, it takes sometimes more
Sometimes
than
there's some stories attached,
instant.
but
That's right. Let's start them off, okay? Who is your favourite player or athlete growing up?
I was a Joey Johns fan. Just sort of loved everything about him. But yeah, like probably if I was a kid now, I'd probably look at KP as my favourite. But Joey was just cool. A big thing about sports back in the day is like, if you think about the way we grew up, you kind of got one TV, so you support whatever like your dad supports.
Yeah.
Where you look at kids now, they've got their own like devices or
yeah.
phones or iPads, so they can sort of formulate their own opinions. But I grew up watching Joey, and the Warriors during that period were like really entertaining to watch. But Joey was sort of my guy.
My man. I love it.
cool. Who is your hardest opponent you've ever faced?
Like, obviously I played all like GI and Thurston and but the one guy that laced me when I was like younger was Felipe Mateo. It was my first game. It was my first game in reserve grade, and I was like maybe 17, just got out of high school, and he'd just come back from England. So we were playing just before the Warriors' first game, and I was a halfback and meant to run everything around and just like put an absolute clinic on me. Like, I still remember it now. I'm still scarred from
Scarred.
it. Yeah.
Traumatized.
Slack.
Yeah, he like ran over the top of me, threw a long ball, offloaded probably 3-4 times.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and I was like 17, 18, like
How rude.
I was going, I need help. Sound like the biggest bitch on the field, like playing with first graders. Like, fucking someone help me.
That's
Like,
so good.
but I remember that so clearly. But yeah, he gave me my biggest lesson.
Nice.
Who's the best player or teammate that you've played beside, and why?
I think the best teammates are the people that put the team first, and I played with a guy named Michael Luck at the Warriors, just a battler. And the thing I loved about Michael Luck, he shaped me into the person I am today, was like the way he played the game, like his head was always in the wrong place. I remember one injury, someone stood on his thigh, and ripped it out, and they said it was equivalent of a shark bite.
Ripped out his thigh muscle.
It was like he had a scar like that because someone stood on him and the sprigs had got in, and when they pulled it out, it ripped it. But he'll rock up training on Tuesday and be on like the rollway and trying to rip him. But the thing I loved about him so much is he was one of the smartest people I'd ever met. Like, you sit and have a coffee with him, and I remember it was the first time I looked at someone and go, like, the way you play and the way you isn't quite lining up. And he actually introduced me into reading books. Like, obviously I could read, but he gave me like my first 3 books to read, gave me perspective on life, and I always remember that. So he was cool. He was a big part of the Warriors going to grand final in 11 too. He just really like held the team together. Wasn't super talented, but like the Islander boys respected him. Like all the Aussie boys respected him. Coaches loved him. He was just the best. So I
Michael Lark, was it?
Michael Lark.
Okay, let's
the
remember
milkman.
Okay, if you could be professional in one other sport, what would it be?
Probably basketball. I think it's just like maybe even golf now. I'm not a golfer, but I think just the way they're going. But I think basketball, the way that they market themselves, you're allowed to be an individual. Helps when you only got 5 people on the court. But I think the way you can walk into like arenas and wear your own thing and be your own person. I think it's celebrated a lot more than it is in a sport like rugby league. I think that's pretty cool. I think basketball is just a cool sport.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's only 5. Every time I watch it, it looks like there's like so many people on the court. Is it just because they're huge?
Yeah.
Big humans.
A small court, big arena.
Yeah.
Like, you're used to looking at like 100-meter
It's
field.
like there's 20 people on there to me. I couldn't believe there's only 5.
And I think there's only 12 in the squad. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, I think the lifestyle would be cool.
Yeah, love it.
We should take notes then, hey, from the ballers on how to market yourself. What's your most used app on your phone?
Probably Instagram.
Yeah, guilty.
Nothing too exciting there. But I do think it's like such a matured platform that it's not even like fun anymore. It's hard to grow on Instagram, but it's like usually the one I go to first. So.
Do you get on TikTok?
I got a TikTok, but I should. Like if I spend 2 hours on Instagram content, I should just be spending 2 hours on TikTok content.
What do you think is the best app to grow?
TikTok at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
I feel like we've known that, but we just haven't jumped on it enough.
Yeah, I think like a lot of the day in the life content's like really interesting.
Yeah.
Especially for you being a mum. Like I think brand deals from like being a mum could like really come through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like teaching kids, but it's all just going to drive there. I probably the last post I did was there's an African kid and he's getting water, and I was like, fuck, like. This made me not feel like grateful for something like that, and they got like 11 million views and it grew by 10,000. And since then I haven't posted so I had the momentum at the time, but I think a good part is like realizing the content doesn't always have to be around you; it can be around other things.
Yeah,
so I know all this shit and I still don't do it.
Yeah. Story of an ad. No, we don't really know.
But like, I'm sorry, like just to roll off that, like we were just talking about an AFL guy, and he just does day in the life stuff in his content.
That's cool.
And he gets like really big brand deals from it. So
I feel like it'd be fun. It's again, I'm just like got the back of my head. People don't want to see this.
People don't care.
People are judging.
But so many people. Some of the stuff I find myself watching on TikTok, I'm like,
why did I watch
what
that?
did I just watch?
And the best thing about TikTok, if it's too polished, it doesn't suit the platform.
Yeah.
So like we used to try and film TikTok content on like a DSLR camera, and it's all in slow mo, and blah, blah. It just doesn't suit the platform.
It's the rough like.
It's like you're at a pub and a girl walks in and she's like done up to the nines. Like you don't fit
Where
in
are
there.
you?
Yeah.
You're better off being like a little bit.
You don't go here.
At the carrying bar, like what's he doing? But it's sort of like that. Like it can be a little bit more rougher. And I've grown up knowing how to. I've come through business knowing how to edit on Final Cut Pro, and I can do all the B-rolls and all shit like that. And it sort of hurts your feelings a little bit that someone could jump on with a green screen and go like, hey,
Exactly.
yeah. So like you just got to play the rules for the game, and for TikTok it's the easiest one.
Okay.
And if you think day in the life, so if you go like, all right, cool, I want to do a day in the life, it's going to be 3 times a week, I need to just film 10 frames for 3 seconds throughout the day, and that's all I need. So instead of you thinking like, all right, cool, I'm just going to film all day, and then you sort of cut later, you go, all right, I'm going to film 10 3-second things throughout my day. What are they?
Yeah.
And that way you can just move like a little bit smarter.
That's cool.
And then you get a 30-second thing, and you just do a voiceover at the top, and then you push the most trendy music over it, but you dip it all the way down, so it still can pick up through the trending, but like you don't really hear it.
Sick. I need to listen to this.
Writing
back.
notes, putting notes.
I feel like we missed the boat with like the NRLW season.
Oh, we could have done that.
We spoke about it. Like it'd be cool to do like it.
People are actually asking.
People
as
want to
well.
know about
They
it. We're
wanted to see
just slack.
Yeah, so like game day content.
I know. We've
yeah.
missed it all. We've got to wait till June.
We'll get our rock climbing videos.
We'll do our off-season rock climbing.
Do you watch food content?
I find my yes.
Yeah, I see. I find food content the most interesting. So, like, actually, tackles. So I was telling like the Reborn boys that they should do like eat Maccas to get the calorie count, and then see what type of workout it takes to get that type of like that. That would like And your first TikTok piece of content like has to be them. Like visually, you have to get a great hook so it stops the feed. Because the thing about TikTok is when you jump on, you're already in the scrolling. Mode. You're not on the homepage and you don't go like homepage stories. Then you start watching or homepage reels. As soon as you jump on TikTok, you're in there. So that's what captures them in there. So you got to stop them. So I was saying to Pat, like eat a burger and go, oh, this is like 500 calories. This is what it takes to work off. I think that type of content would kill.
They'd be so good at that. That sounds right up there.
I was going to say,
and
it's fun minus the workout.
And the big part is, like the big part about content is the content that's closest to the people is always the stuff that's going to win. So like I said to you girls earlier on, like TV shows, if you're into TV shows, you talking about that is going to fire. But like I used to watch MTV Cribs and the most exciting part to me was when they looked in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like,
what have you got in there?
People are nosy. People are nosy.
So
people know what you want to eat after a game. What do the girls eat after? What's their Macca's order?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do some off-season day in the lives.
Yeah.
Rock climbing and playing touch.
The more simple, the more better. Then obviously if you're consistent, you just need one to take off and then you're away.
Okay.
There
TikTok,
we go.
Famous.
We're on.
Come at us. Where is your favourite place you've travelled?
I love New York. I think New York's a really cool city. I love the energy, but I was there for a month, and that felt like a bit too long. But I kind of love Asian countries. I love Seoul in South Korea, which is pretty cool. Wouldn't be for everyone, but I really love like everyone kind of like the fashion's all pretty similar. They would dress way different to us. The food's really cool. Got a cool nightlife. To drink a lot of beer and eat fried chicken and Korean barbecue, and they're all really friendly.
Sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
So cool. We need to get over there.
I think we're going in like a month or two. Tokyo was really cool. I love Japan. But I don't know, South France is nice.
Where is the best food?
I love Asian food. So anything that's sort of Asian fusion. So Seoul's really good. Tokyo's really good. I'm going to Vietnam in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Vietnam food would be bomb.
Yeah, it's my favourite cuisine.
I love like
here.
the Hong Ha. You know Hong Ha here? You know Hong Say less. It's like every time we finish, we're like,
Oh,
Hong
you
Ha.
guys
Is there a
Hong Ha.
line? Pull up.
It's a big meal. It's like, fuck,
It is.
Slack afterwards.
What's the best part? The bread is so good.
It's just the bread.
The bread's
They've
the
got
winner.
one in Bondi, but it doesn't hit the same. As
A Hong Ha?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and there's one in Coogee as well. It's not the same though.
Nah.
This is the OG down the road here.
Yeah.
Noted. Your favourite musician or artist?
I'm not really into music, but I'll probably just have to. I was a Tupac fan growing up.
Yes.
Grew up in Motown from my parents. My mum, she loved Prince and stuff, so kind of love that music. But probably Drake would be my most modern.
Yes.
I just like he just seems normal.
Yeah.
Like he just does normal people stuff, and like I said, like he's one of the biggest superstars in the world, but he'll just do random stuff. Like Taylor Swift does that stuff too.
Yeah.
She'll rock up to a wedding, and that's not the best use of her time, but she makes someone's wedding, and that goes viral, and that goes on Complex. So what I mean by content is like the more basic it is, the better.
Yeah. Cool.
Hey, on TikTok, I've been stuck on Tupac TikTok because they've just arrested
Oh yeah, I
Keefy D.
saw that. Yeah.
Who was it?
Keefy D. I don't know his real name, but one of the bros. And now they're trying to get P. Diddy involved. They're saying that he's
he
the main
hired him,
man.
eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I've watched a lot over the last couple of days. Very invested. Next question.
Do you know what? Like,
Yeah.
I think I love about artists is when I watch them speak back, and like Tupac, like you hear him speak at like 18, 19, and I've always been interested in people that can articulate themselves through words and like very forward thinking. And I used to watch his like interviews back in the day, even when I was playing football. And like he'll be like, I read this book. So I used to jump on Amazon, buy that book.
Buy the book. That's the best.
I was into stuff like that too, and also obviously storytelling. The way they sort of do lyrics, and probably J. Cole's right up there for me in terms of storytelling. So I love all that stuff. I love wordplay. I love words. I find that stuff interesting.
Well, on that, what is your favourite book?
I got a cliche answer for this. It's probably like The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho. It was I watched this YouTube clip and it was about Will Smith, and same thing. I saw him as a funny comedian, but like I watched him speak, and it'll still be on YouTube now, but he just sounded so smart, and I was always impressed by that like what he looked like and what he actually said, like didn't match up. I find that always interesting. And he recommended that book, The Alchemist. So an alchemist is someone that can turn like lead into gold. But it tells a pretty cool story. It's really basic.
I'm pretty sure Matt was reading that.
Yeah, it sounds very
Recently.
familiar. I feel like a lot of people
but
read it or post about it.
But from that, like I read a great book called The Law of 30. The Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO, like recently. So I've listened to that 2-3 times. But like I read books a little bit differently.
Are you fiction, non-fiction more?
Nah, I don't. Non-fiction. I don't read fiction.
Wait, sorry, remind me which one's which?
Fiction's fine.
These all factual stuff.
Yeah.
Made up.
Self.
Yeah, I love all that sort of stuff. But like the way I listen to it is like I'll listen to it in an audio version and I'll listen on 2x. And all my goal was just to try and get the best parts out of it. And then, like, I'm not trying to understand the book front to back.
Yeah.
I just want to get, like, if I can get 2 or 3 things out of a book, I'll take that, I'll write it down and I'll sit there and think and then sort of relate it back to my life.
That was my thing. So you're a note taker. Is that what you do? Yeah.
All little post-it notes in it, or you just have a little book?
A lot of my like first books I started reading, got like post-it notes and I'll circle them and bend pages. And then I've got a big bookcase in there and I've got heaps of books at home. But like I go through books to try and get maybe 10 or 20 that I can always go back to. I think you're better off understanding like 10 or 20 books in life that are classics. You can build your life off that instead of going like I've read maybe 130, 140 books in my life.
Nice, solid.
But yeah, I always go back to those sort of core ones. I think it's an easier way to live.
Yeah.
We're going to have a little look on your shelf.
Tasha's colour coordinated too. So
is she?
Yeah.
Of course, even better. Okay, last one. The best piece of advice you've received?
I don't know. It's a good question. I think, you know, everyone just says just be yourself. Like I found whenever I've had the most success in life or in business is when I've been the most authentic version to myself. Whenever I try to be like an American brand or anyone like that content tries to be like them and I'm inspired by them. A lot of the times when I go on Instagram and I feel myself heading towards that way, I'll just stop following those types of people and just try and make content that's authentic to me. And I think in a world where everyone's trying to be like someone else, I think when you're just trying to be you probably stand out like a little bit more. And that comes in many different ways. You can articulate your own thoughts and opinions. You don't really have to follow what everyone else is thinking. I've always felt like that. I grew up in a small town. I wanted to go this way. When I was part of a football crew, I wanted to go this way. Like, I've always sort of gravitated away from crowds and herds and how everyone thinks. And I think it's just best to be you.
Love it.
Amazing. Love that.
So good, IICE. Well, we are so grateful that you've come on board.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. We were really nervous. Yes, we're going to have a little bit of a break and refresh our minds and come up with some better ideas.
Get creative.
Get on TikTok.
Yeah.
But like if you think about like content, it's just mental frameworks. The same as sports. Like everything in life is just pattern recognition and mental frameworks. Like you get to a wide 4-on-4 and you understand what's going on there. If you do it enough, you start to pick up the patterns in life, and content's exactly the same. Business is exactly the same. You can relate a lot back to sports.
Yeah, there we go.
We will be better.
Take the wide 4. Always.
Take the wide 4 always.
Thanks, IICE.
No worries.
Thanks, IICE. Appreciate it.